Before we begin, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to Whispers of the Dark, and tell me in the comments if you've ever received a call from someone who shouldn't be able to call anymore. Now, turn off the lights, put on your headphones, and listen carefully, because sometimes the dead don't stay silent. It started 3 years after my wife died. Her name was Emily. She was my everything. She died in a car crash on a rainy night in November, the kind of night that never leaves your memory. I was supposed to pick her up from work that evening, but I got stuck in traffic. She called me to say she'd take a cab instead. That was the last time I heard her voice. The next call came at 11:42 p.m. An unknown number. A man answered when I picked up. Or at least I thought it was a man. There was heavy static, like wind through a tunnel. I said hello 3 times. No response. Then, faintly, I heard her voice. "Mark!" It was Emily, soft, confused. I froze. My body felt cold, like all the blood had left me. I whispered her name, and the call dropped. I sat there staring at my phone screen, heart racing. I checked the call log. The number was just zeros. I didn't sleep that night or the next. The next evening it happened again, same time, 11:42 p.m. This time I answered before the second ring. Static, silence, then a slow breath. "Mark." I'm cold. I couldn't speak. My throat locked. I tried to ask where she was, but the words wouldn't come out. Then the line went dead again. After that, the calls came every night, always at 11:42, always from the same number, 000000000. I started recording them. The first few were just static and fragments of her voice, my name, a sob, sometimes a whisper that sounded like, "Help me." But over time, the calls changed. The voice grew clearer, closer, and something else started happening. Every time the phone rang, the lights flickered. The air turned heavy, like the pressure before a storm. And sometimes, right before the call ended, I heard faint knocking, like someone tapping on glass. I told my friend Ryan about it. He thought I was losing it. He said I needed to let her go, so I tried. I left my phone turned off one night, but at 11:42, the landline rang. I didn't even remember I had a landline. When I picked it up, the static was deafening. I almost hung up, but then I heard it again. "Mark, please, find me." The line cut. The dial tone returned. But something was different this time. I could still hear her whispering faintly under the tone, as if her voice was trapped somewhere between the lines. That night, I dreamt of her. She stood at the end of our old hallway, wearing the same dress she died in, wet, torn, and dripping. She didn't move. She didn't blink. She just whispered one word: basement. When I woke up, the clock said 11:42, and the phone was ringing again. I went to the basement that morning. I hadn't been down there in months. Everything was covered in dust, old boxes, tools, and a shelf of things from before the accident. In the corner was a phone, an old rotary one Emily loved collecting. She'd found it at a yard sale years ago. It wasn't plugged in. It had no line connected. But when I walked closer, the dial was spinning, slowly, by itself. It stopped on number 9, then 1 again, 911. The moment it stopped, my cell phone rang upstairs. 11:42 a.m. this time, the same number. I ran upstairs, grabbed it and answered. Her voice was different now, clear, desperate. "Mark, he's here." I shouted her name, asked who she meant. All I heard was a sound behind her, heavy breathing, dragging like someone moving slowly through gravel. Then a thud. Then the call ended. That was the first time I noticed the smell. Wet earth, rotting flowers, like the cemetery. For days, I couldn't think straight. I went to the police, showed them the call logs. They said it was impossible. The numbers didn't exist. The calls didn't even show up on their system. That night, I disconnected every phone in the house. I turned off the power. I even removed the SIM card from my cell. But at 11:42, my phone vibrated. The screen lit up. Emily, incoming call. It was her old number, the one that had been disconnected since the crash. I answered, trembling. Static filled my ear, then her voice crying. Mark, he knows you hear me now. The phone slipped from my hand. The screen went black. Then the lights turned back on by themselves. The next morning, I checked the recordings. All of them were gone, replaced by one single audio file. It was short, just 3 seconds long, and it was my voice saying, "She's not dead." I didn't record that. After that day, the calls stopped. For 2 weeks, silence. Then one night, the phone rang again. Not at 11:42, at 3:17 a.m. The number this time wasn't zeros. It was mine, my own phone number. I answered. There was no static this time, just silence, then breathing. And then I heard myself whisper, "Mark, she's with me." The voice was mine, but older, weaker, like I'd aged decades. Then the line went dead. I left the house that night, checked into a motel 2 towns over. No phones, no Wi-Fi, no contact. I thought I'd escaped it, but 2 nights later there was a knock on my door. 3 knocks, slow, measured. When I looked through the peephole, no one was there. But my phone was sitting on the floor outside, the one I'd left at home. The screen was cracked. The message notification said one new voicemail from Emily. I played it. The message began with static, then faint crying. "Mark, I'm sorry. I tried to warn you. He's coming." And then another voice, low, deep, not hers, not mine. "You shouldn't have answered." The message ended with a sound I'll never forget. The same thud I'd heard the night she died. The next morning, I drove back to the house. The place smelled like decay. The walls were damp. The air was heavy, as if the house itself was holding its breath. I walked into the kitchen, and the phone on the wall, the one I'd cut the cord from, was ringing. I let it ring once, twice. Then it stopped. And started again. This time the answering machine clicked on. The voice that came through wasn't Emily's. It was mine, but distorted. "Mark, you shouldn't have come back." Then I heard footsteps, upstairs, slow, dragging. Someone was walking in the hallway. I turned toward the staircase and my phone started ringing again. 00000. I answered, whispering her name. No voice, just breathing. Then, faintly, "Behind you." I turned, and there she was, or what was left of her, pale, soaked, eyes empty. Her mouth moved, but her voice came from the phone. "Mark, he's still here." The call ended, and the lights went out. I don't remember what happened next. When I woke up, it was daylight. The house was silent. The phone was gone. The only sound was the slow drip of water from the ceiling. I packed a bag and left that morning. I moved across the country, changed my number, threw away every phone I owned. But even now, every year, on the anniversary of her death, I wake up at 11:42 p.m. and the silence is broken. A faint ring echoes through the room. No phone, no device, just the sound of the dead calling back. If you like this story, leave a like, subscribe to Whispers of the Dark, and tell me in the comments what you'd do if the person you loved called you from the other side. Whispers of the Dark.